Welcome to another episode of The Brand Called You, a podcast and podcast show that brings you leadership lessons, knowledge, experience, and wisdom from thousands of successful individuals from around the world. I'm your host, Ashutosh Garg, and today I'm privileged to welcome a very senior, respected, and accomplished professional from the world of design from Ahmedabad, India, Professor Pradyumna Vyas. Professor Vyas, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Mr. Garg. Indeed, it's pleasure for me to interact with you.
Thank you. Pradyumna is the president-elect of the World Design Organization. He's the former director of the National Institute of Design. He's a senior advisor with the Confederation of Indian Industry. He's a former member secretary of the India Design Council. And given the amazing work he has done in his career, understandably, he has been recognized, awarded, and felicitated several times. So, Pradyumna, my first question to you, can you share some of the key moments from your early years that inspired you to pursue a career in design?
Um, Actually, it is all accidental.
Hmm.
Uh, I didn't know about design when I was in school and in college.
Okay.
Uh, Obviously, every parents they think that their child should become either engineer or doctor.
I know.
And I became engineer. And in general, usually after engineering, you look for a job. But so happened that my father was in forest department, and he was posted in Jabalpur, and two faculty members from IIT Mumbai visited. They wanted to see the Kanha National Park, and they visited home. And as my hobby, I used to make wooden sculptures.
Hmm.
And when they saw, they asked, and they said that who has made? My father said, my son. What is he doing? He just finished engineering. Oh, there is a very good course in IIT Mumbai for engineers who have some artistic aptitude.
Hmm.
Rest all is history.
Amazing. And how did IIT Bombay shape your perspective on industrial design?
I think completely changed because my background being a son of forest officer, I really did my education in a very small places, tribal school to convent school and all those wherever he was posted.
Hmm.
And IIT was ultimate thing actually. We have never seen such kind of big uh,
Hmm.
institutions. There's so many disciplines are there. So after engineering, which I did from Gwalior, it was an eye opener, and I must say that I had difficulty in the beginning because first of all, the engineering education and coming into design, where you have to deal with lots of subjective courses, and
Hmm.
engineering is very objective. The
Hmm.
the process is fixed. There is a solution which you need to learn the process and arrive at solution. But
Hmm.
in design, there are hundreds of solutions, and you have to pick up one. So
Hmm.
this ambiguity in the beginning, I must say, for 6 months it was a struggle.
Hmm.
And I did my education in Hindi medium. So
Hmm.
engineering, yes, there was a transformation in English medium, but dealing with all students coming from very big cities and all, the cultural shift was there. So I must say that first 3 months were difficult, but then I started adjusting. And sometimes you feel that when you have this complex, you are less. You are always trying to achieve more, and you put your best effort. So sometimes these kind of things help you in building your career, and it has helped me.
Amazing. Thank you. Pradyumna, we'll now talk about the National Institute of Design. It is one of the most iconic and one of the most well-known design institutes, not just in India, but probably the world. And you were director of NID. How would you describe the role of NID in shaping India's design landscape?
National Institute of Design, Ahmedabad, I think post-independence, the great vision of Government of India,
Hmm.
where they could think that for national, social, and economic growth,
Hmm.
other than technology and management, design is also important. It
Right.
was much ahead of time. It was
Hmm.
much ahead of time. I must say the thinking, and credit goes to Vikram Sarabhai because
Hmm.
he was a worldly person, scientist, and moving around different part of the world.
Hmm.
Obviously, technology, because we wanted to be very strong in manufacturing, and IITs came up in late 50s. Management, they said that yes, if you need if technology competence is there, we need management competence. So early 60s, Indian Institute of Management also came. But at the same time, when our economy was protected, these people thought of design. And in 1958, they invited Charles and Ray Eames to
Hmm.
suggest
Hmm.
very famous designers from US
Hmm.
that what kind of design school India should have. And I think in 1956, they moved around in the country and they wrote a report called India Report. I would like listeners to go through this report. Is online.
Hmm.
It was written in 1958. In 1961, NID has come up
Wow.
based on that report.
Mhm.
Again, I would say that it was much ahead of time in terms of the learning by doing and learning from the field. No
Hmm.
examination. You go into the field and learn. I
Hmm.
think what today's education policy is talking today, new education policy, NID started in 1961.
Amazing.
That is a
Amazing.
special thing. I would say that NID never compared two students with each other. The mark
Hmm.
was always in terms of how you have performed in your area of interest, your projects which you have done in
Hmm.
the field, and each student was given in a very focused manner the feedback. And I must say that what NID has produced, NID has produced the thought leaders, the design thinkers,
Absolutely.
and not just working in the organization. And NID has made them very confident to
Correct.
work in India and become the think tank actually. So
Amazing.
that's what the
Amazing.
NID,
And
and I
what
got privilege.
what you're saying
Yeah,
is so
sorry.
right. I mean, NID alumni have made their a name for themselves all over the world,
Absolutely,
isn't it?
absolutely. And I think they are very confident because
Correct.
NID is not the place where the NID right from the beginning they exported um, graduates to US and other places where people were just longing to go.
Hmm.
In late 80s, I think the group of students, 22 years age, 23 years age, industry was not looking so much for design,
Hmm.
but they established design offices in Bangalore, Delhi, and Pune, Bombay.
Hmm.
And I tell you, they are doing amazing work within the country.
Amazing. And you know, the NID has always had a rich legacy of fostering innovation. How did you ensure, as the director, that the institute remained relevant in the rapidly evolving design landscape?
I I think the design pedagogy which adopted, they always looked into the challenges which society is going through,
Hmm.
whether it is ecology, whether it is economy, whether it is inclusivity, whether it is any healthcare, agriculture, all those sectors which are there.
Hmm.
One good thing NIT did right from the beginning was that the faculty members were the practitioners.
Hmm.
They don't just teach,
Hmm.
they go to the field, they take up the project, students and faculty do it together.
Hmm.
And whether it is a social sector, whether it is industry sector, or whether it is a training sector.
Hmm.
So all these areas, faculty was always required to have championship. So they always remain in touch with the society. That is one
Hmm.
positive point. And it's
Right.
not like that you are just making a presentation of paper. You are really working in the field,
Hmm.
and students are helping the faculty members on those live projects.
Hmm.
Strength of NID in upgrading themselves is that proving themselves in the field that yes, whatever challenges are coming in different decades,
Hmm.
the technology is emerging and they are upgrading themselves, working with people. Students are also looking into their work, and
Hmm.
that way I think the NID remain very contemporary
Very
with the.
interesting. Very interesting. Pradyumna, you also you brought the India Design Council to life under your leadership. What was your vision when you started this?
I won't take credit of the complete thing because I was not director when India Design
Okay.
National Design Policy was implemented. That was 2007. But I
Hmm.
must say that I was working with Confederation of Indian Industry since 2000.
Hmm.
And it's now 24 years. NID and CII, we launched a CII NID Design Summit.
Hmm.
And this was an annual event which we started, which was gathering the policymakers, the government body, the design body, the academic body. And when they were meeting, this thing was realized that there should be design policy. Few countries like UK Korea and all, they have really taken leverage.
Hmm.
And then we initiated interacting with government and the stakeholders, designers and all.
Hmm.
And this was Parliament approved in 2007.
Hmm.
But when policy was approved, which was
Hmm.
promotion of policy, to implement that policy, the India Design Council was established in
Hmm.
2009,
Hmm.
and that time I became the director of NIT.
Okay. Okay.
So, ex uh, officiating director automatically become the member secretary of India Design Council.
Hmm.
And I must say that that was such a good opportunity I got to implement the national design policy,
Hmm.
that we established India Design Mark, which is amazing.
Hmm.
That good design selection system with the help of Japan Institute of Design Promotion.
Hmm.
They have G Mark. G Mark is, they launched it in 1957 when
Hmm.
Japan was copying the product from the Western world, and the
Hmm.
government of Japan said that no, we must encourage the Japanese manufacturer to have a better design. And they launched this G Mark, which is called Good Design Selection System.
Hmm.
Learned that complete technique, and we launched India Design Mark.
Hmm.
India Design Mark, meaning when people are applying, the group of designers with the support of Japanese designers helped in identifying what is good in the product.
Hmm.
And we started recognizing good design practice, and we felt that if government also give importance to this India Design Mark, I think the design capability as well as design profession and design level in industry will go higher. And
Hmm.
we are insisting in the design policy that the government procurement, if they insist on India Design Mark, I would say industry will go for getting their product and services designed,
Well said.
then quality will improve. But
Hmm.
it has made a big difference. It is because of the COVID, it may have got slowed down. But Japan, an ordinary person knows what is G mark, and that is
Hmm.
what we want I mark in India. That we
Hmm.
should know that if it is I mark, it has been evaluated by the designers and it's a good product. So
Very
that is one
interesting.
major thing which we did in India Design Council.
Very interesting. And how do you see emerging technologies like AI, AR, VR, influencing the future of design education and practice?
I think it's a very pertinent question which you have asked, because the design education was invented in industrial era, in the second industrial revolution, where the manufacturing was easy to make, easy to use, good looking product, uh, faster, better, and cheaper, meaning cost wise
Yeah.
effectively.
Yeah.
And everybody was talking about, and GDP was connected with the more consumption. So you do
Hmm.
consume. Designers are getting better earning with designing things, but
Hmm.
it started posing a lot of environmental issues.
Hmm.
Now, the industrial world to digital world which we are in,
Hmm.
obviously, there is a major shift and major opportunity and major challenges are also there.
Hmm.
While we feel that country like India, if this partnership, one
Hmm.
is that multidisciplinary approach, which is very, very important, that you cannot design things in isolation. You
Hmm.
need to have experts who are in the digital space, we are expert. You need sociology, psychologist, and anthropologist, and all who know the society very well. You know the user aspect or human uh, centered aspect which designers can look into, and all
Hmm.
stakeholders, if they come together, the future
Hmm.
certainly is in that direction.
Very
But
interesting. Hmm.
but I personally feel that technology is enabler. It is
Hmm.
not the guiding force, it's an
Right.
enabler.
Hmm.
If you have an idea, technology is there to support it.
Hmm.
And this country, I tell you, it's amazing country where the digital inclusion, the way it has happened, whether it is Aadhaar card, whether it is what you call UPI, the payment which we are
Yeah.
making,
Hmm.
how this mobile payment system has penetrated to the bottom of the
Correct.
pyramid, lowest people, and how it is really democratized. So design has democratized today. You and I have a potential to put forth our ideas, our things to the world
Hmm.
without anybody's support. So I
Hmm.
think I personally feel that designers, policymakers, institutions should come together and look into the complex issues like sustainability, like healthcare, like education,
Hmm.
uh, which are very, very, I would say that were not simple areas, but they impact is to the larger number of people.
Right.
If this digital inclusion with design, which is human-centric approach, I
Hmm.
think this country can really make major differences in bringing up inclusivity and
Right.
the terrains are very difficult, like Northeast and all.
Hmm.
Rather than uh, things traveling by road, let it travel digitally and have more
Correct.
employment, more education, more healthcare in
Correct.
the remotest part. That is what
Absolutely.
I
Very
see.
well said. Thank you. Great response. My next question, Pradyumna, is how can India leverage its rich cultural heritage to create a globally unique design identity? And you did mention iMark as one thing that we could be doing.
Yeah, no, I think it's a very good question, and I personally feel
Hmm.
that our more than 5,000-year-old civilization
Yeah,
is the biggest strength which we have.
correct.
And sometimes you see, I feel that why we are so flexible and why we are so strong in IT, the software making and
Hmm.
all,
Hmm.
because we don't have fixed ideas. We
Correct.
have in so many layers of socio-economic, cultural,
Absolutely.
geographical, layered, what you call diversity, which makes us think in multi-direction.
Hmm.
And I think this is an area where the designer can really look into and see that how they can utilize their capability.
Hmm.
So, I'm sorry, your question was focusing on
On the
particular
rich cultural
such
heritage.
culture. Huh?
Yeah.
So this ingredient which we have, and in our culture,
Hmm.
I would say that very strong sense of sustainability angle is there.
Right.
Very strong sustainability.
Hmm.
You see, we pray our rivers
Yeah.
because river gives us water.
Yeah.
We pray trees because tree gives us fruit.
Yeah.
We pray animals because they are useful too. We
Correct.
always believed in our culture coexistence.
Hmm.
This coexistence is amazing way
Hmm.
of looking at things which we need
Correct.
to learn from our culture. And I personally feel that India is a global leader in frugal innovation,
Hmm.
because the problem comes in local level, how people have really resolved them. They are
Hmm.
not giving up, but they are resolving
Hmm.
those problem. They are finding the solution, and
Yeah.
I think this frugal innovations have lot of global sustainable sustainability aspect into it.
Hmm.
If we in classroom take this frugal innovation in the labs,
Hmm.
I think India certainly can become global leader in sustainability and
Hmm.
other aspects, because we
Right.
always feel that we can become global leader on our own strength and not on borrowed strengths. And
Hmm.
these are our strengths which are unique in its nature, and culture and tradition certainly some of the practices which our forefathers are doing.
Hmm.
I always say that my mother, if she's studied only fourth standard, she's not illiterate, but she has lots of wisdom, and those
Absolutely.
wisdom, I think we need to really bring it into the classroom and just see and decode them scientifically
Yeah.
and create a new knowledge.
Very well said. I love the way you just commented that one of the strengths we have in our country is the 5,000 years. And that is what, because of the multiple layers, we are able to think very differently. And
Mm.
that's what probably makes us succeed. What a great perspective. Thank you. One more question relating to NID, and then I want to move to your forthcoming role.
Mm.
Um, what would you say are some of the design-centric policy interventions that you believe India should prioritize in the coming years?
Yeah. Uh, I would really go for the urban design area,
Yeah.
actually.
Hmm.
The way world is moving, I don't know what percentage you can check it, but in coming years, the focus is going to go into urban areas.
Hmm.
So the population concentration is happening in that areas.
Hmm.
So I think the public facility, better quality of life in cities is a
Hmm.
complex area which is not a product.
Hmm.
It's a multiple thing. It's a service design, a product design, it's a utility aspect of it, mobility design, aging population, disabled people, safety of people. all these issues require design intervention.
Hmm.
And I think if suppose we start focusing in this area, I'm sure, meaning that the challenges which really look into this complex thing, which are multidisciplinary in nature,
Hmm.
not in single kind of thing which we were doing
Hmm.
products or fashion collection, because I always talk about this thing that future is going to be more ecocentric rather than egocentric, and so
Correct.
far design has gone more on egocentric,
Yeah.
that designers collection and that designers collection and this designer's product. But
Hmm.
now we have to really look into that this is going to come on us, and that is what future we will have to look.
Fascinating. Fascinating. So I'm now going to move. I've got a few two questions for you relating to your forthcoming role. You are the president-elect of the World Design Organization. Tell me a little bit about the World Design Organization and what is your vision for the organization?
So, World Design Organization was set up in 1957.
Hmm.
Obviously, the design was more developed in Western world, and it initiated and mostly all those activities of design which was
Hmm.
happening either in Germany or Finland or France or Italy. So those concentration people were every 2 years talking about future development, future technology, future cities, future
Hmm.
talent, and how the world is dealing with.
Hmm.
Mostly it was a very European dominated thing, and Japan in between came in. Obviously, the language and all were meaning the what you call, we all were the user of those conferences, and but we participated right from the beginning.
Hmm.
But when things started happening on looking into the human-centric design, environment-centric design, then we started realizing that we know more about it actually. And somewhere, and I think we people are shy people. Asians are
Correct.
not immediately coming out on this and make big story. So
Hmm.
that's why we were more listener kind of thing. But I think the technology also made us very fast growing and knowing what is happening
Correct.
in the world.
Hmm.
So now we got a chance that the Indian person is sitting on that chair as a
Hmm.
president elect. And definition with the World Design Organization had given was humanizing technology is
Hmm.
design. The
Yeah.
human angle was very strong
Hmm.
from the
Hmm.
beginning we are talking.
Hmm. Hmm.
Now, I think the bigger challenges which are coming up and which I am going to really focus on, yes, the cities were focused, that one of the major activity is World Design Capital.
Hmm.
The World Design Capital was started in 2008 in Torino first,
Hmm.
and then lots of cities have bid like the Olympic, and where the all entire world's designers are going and trying to solve the local issues, local problems, making city more vibrant.
Hmm.
So Torino, Helsinki, Cape Town, then the Taipei, um, and I think Korea,
Hmm.
Seoul,
Hmm.
all these cities got this, and Bengaluru had applied in 2020, but unfortunately it lost
Hmm.
against the Valencia in Spain.
Hmm. Hmm.
So San Diego was World Design Capital, and now the Frankfurt is, and we are thinking that some Indian city again should apply for 2028.
Well.
So celebration
Hmm.
of design is main aspect of WDO.
Hmm.
But I think the future which I am looking into, what
Hmm.
you asked, that what are the cultural strengths which India had? Can it
Correct.
have a global relevance?
Hmm.
Can we really take the Eastern sustainability values which are there at a global platform? We got
Hmm.
the opportunity actually here.
Hmm.
That, as I said, that we are still good in English and communicate and all, but Japanese, Taiwanese, Chinese, who have also a lot of cultural strength, not able to really come in forefront. But we
Hmm.
want to really now see that those are some of the global wisdom which is there, which has
Hmm.
survived this planet for thousands of years,
Hmm.
how we can take it to the next level.
Very
This
interesting.
dialogue, this dialogue, I think I am going to start with
Hmm.
the global design policy framework, whether the city design index, that how happy people are in the city, how good transportation is, how good healthcare services is, and how technology, design, management, and all those things can help the
Hmm.
the humanity in a better way.
Amazing. And given your background, Pradyumna, I'm sure you can take all the knowledge of Indian culture, Indian sustainability, Indian design to a global platform at the World Design Organization. And I wish you all the best in your new role. But on that note, I just want to say thank you so much for talking to me about your own incredible journey. What a powerful story that you accidentally, because you were sculpting something out of wood, were discovered, and that led to a whole career in design, which has taken you right to the apex. Thank you for talking to me about all the journeys you've had with the National Institute of Design. I've been reading about NID, but I didn't know there was so much work that has gone on. Thank you for talking to me about how design has evolved, how NID has really been able to capture a lot of the rich legacy of our own culture. Thank you for talking to me about the Indian Design Council, about the rich cultural heritage. And, as you were putting together your thoughts, I was thinking that sustainability and climate change and so many other things are a part of all our lives. And I'm sure it embodies itself in the design that all of you have done and presented, not just in India, but all over the world. Thank you also for talking to me about GMARC and IMARC, about how NID can play a role in, solving a lot of the problems of our country. And I like the way you told me about how focus has to go onto urban design because of the way India is expanding. Thank you also for talking to me about the World Design Organization. What a powerful conversation. I'm sure my viewers and listeners are going to love this conversation. All the very best to you.
Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. I indeed enjoyed talking to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for listening to the Brand Called You videocast and podcast, a platform that brings you knowledge, experience, and wisdom of hundreds of successful individuals from around the world. Do visit our website www.tbcy.in to watch and listen to the stories of many more individuals. You can also follow us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Just search for the Brand Called You.